Hello everybody, this is Miss Jenny from the Wooddale Public Library, and I'm going to show you today how you can make some paper ninja throwing stars. So you can make them out of all kinds of different kinds of paper, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. And basically what you need to make this craft, this ninja star, is some paper. Really doesn't matter what kind. If you have some origami paper, you can use that. If you have loose leaf paper, you can do that. That's where the crayons will come in. If you have some construction paper, you can use that. So I'm going to show you how to resize your paper so that you can do it. And again, if you want to color that lined notebook paper, you're going to want some crayons. And if you do not have origami paper, you need scissors. All right, that's all you need to make your own ninja star. All right, so I especially wanted to show you if you need a piece of paper that ends up being square. So this is just a regular piece of notebook paper. And if you have the little hole punches that are a lot of times in notebook paper so that you can put them in a binder, it's okay because that's going to be hidden inside this whole thing and you don't need to worry about it. So the first thing we need to do is to turn this from a rectangle into a square. And the way you're going to do that is by folding the top edge and fold it along one of the sides. So I'm just pulling it over here. And you want, if you can, to get a nice little point on your folded corner here. And there you go. So what we're going to do is we are going to cut along this line so that we end up with a square. And that's what the scissors are for. Now you can do this a couple of ways. You can just kind of try to very carefully cut along this paper's edge so that the one on the bottom meets. You can also, if you want, try folding this up so that it runs along and then you have a fold to cut along. So whichever way you make your square that is most comfortable for you is what you should do. So we're just going to cut right along the edge of the paper. And you want to be a little bit careful with this, but there's a really good chance that edge is going to be inside your folds anyway. Alrighty, now you can keep this piece of paper later if you wanted to make a teeny tiny ninja star or some other origami thing, or it's actually a really good shape to be a bookmark, right? Now you are going to need 2 sheets of paper like this. So you're going to do it twice. I have already done that with some more paper. And this is where I'm going to tell you that you could certainly do this with construction paper. It's exactly the same process. You take one of the short edges and you fold it so that it makes a triangle and it lies along the long edge. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but do you see that I did not do a really good point here? The top sheet isn't coming all the way to the edge. And that's okay. You can fix it. That extra little bit of a crease isn't going to hurt anything. So you just kind of keep going until you've got that nice pointy edge there. And you take that crease all the way to the end. And you cut along the edge. So I wanted to show you the loose leaf. But the instructions that we have here at the library, if you want to get a paper copy, they will be on the make and take shelf with some origami paper if you want to come and pick it up so that you can use it later. And the instructions that we have are orange and green. So I wanted to make sure that you had that my video was with an orange and green piece of paper so you guys could see. So once you have your squares, all you have to do is fold those in half so that you get, oh, look, what a surprise, a rectangle. That's all right. We're going to keep going. We are going to take one of the edges and fold it to the center line. You don't want to go over, so one of the ways that I help myself so that I don't go past the line is I lift the paper up. Then I'm folding until it is tucked right up against the paper and not going over. And with origami, it's always a good idea. You want to get nice, crisp folds. They help you out later on. And same thing for the other way. So we went from having a kind of larger rectangle. Now we're going to have a skinny rectangle. And we are going to put that off to the side and do the same exact thing with the orange piece of paper. And so I'm going to take a break from my orange and green and show you that again. Folding in half on the loose leaf paper, the lined paper, and you're folding in. I'm going to do this real fast. I'll finish this star later, but I found this was kind of fun, so I just have a piece of scrap paper, and this would be what you would use your crayons for. You can get your crayon and just make that paper colored, whatever color you want. And for your second sheet, you would just do a different color. And then you would have a nice colored paper out of your lined paper. All right, so we're going to go back to our orange and green. They're both opened like that, and I'm just going to turn them to the side. And we're going to do one thing that isn't shown on the instruction sheet. We are going to fold these two in half like that, just so we can get a nice crease right there, which we're going to use a couple of steps away. And so we have that crease. Now on the instructions, and this is kind of important because you're basically making mirror images of your two pieces of paper. They're not folded exactly the same. So if you look at the line here, there's the fold line, and they want you to take this tip and put it over to here. But with the green one, you're going to take this tip and put it over there. So the way I think about it is that this corner is getting folded away from the green piece of paper. So I'm folding it over, and I want to have a triangle up here. Okay, so I've got now a triangle on top of a long rectangle, and there's that line here. So for the green one, we're going to fold the corner that is closest to the orange, but we're going to fold it away from the orange. So we're going to do the same thing. And you kind of, the only bad thing about construction paper is that it's harder to fold. So if you used your loose leaf paper, it'll be easier to fold because it's not so heavyweight. So now I have, and see if they looked at each other in the mirror, they would see each other. So that's why it's called a mirror fold. So we started with the outside corners. No, I'm sorry. We started with the inside corners and folded them out for the top. For the bottom, we're going to start with the outside corners and fold them toward one another. So we're going to take that orange corner that's on the outside and fold it up and over to make a triangle with that edge along the edge of the thing. And we're going to take the green's outside corner and fold it to the inside. So it's folding toward the orange. Alrighty. Sometimes I will use my scissors, the handle, to kind of smush down the paper to give it a little bit more of a really tight fold. All right, so there's our paper. We've got the bottom triangles kind of facing into each other, and the top triangles are facing out away from one another. We're going to take the orange one, and we're going to fold this part here over this, and we're going to go toward the green piece of paper like that. All right, so now we've got a big triangle up at the top, and that orange was folded toward the green. This time we're going to do the green, same thing. It's this outside edge here is going to be folded along here, and we're going toward the orange one. Sometimes it helps to put your finger right about at the line. You can use that as a pivot point to get it to go over where you want it. And then we use the scissor handle. If you don't have scissors, you already had square paper, you can use a pencil or a pen to kind of rub that fold down and make it a little flatter. All right, so we have done so far the top part here. We folded it over, folded that one over. Now we're going to fold this, and these two folded toward each other. The bottom halves are going to be away from each other. So I'm going to take that orange. It's going to be this piece of paper going along that fold. And we're just going to fold it up and over. And use our scissors or our pen to rub that fold and get it nice and well creased. So I'm going to take the green one. It's going to be this edge. It's going to go up alongside the underneath part of this triangle. We're just going to fold it away from the orange one. There we go. And there you have it. Okay. When you're doing this, if you need to pause the video so you can see and make sure your papers are folded, with the tops toward one another and the bottoms away from one another, so you can see how it needs to be, you can do that. All right. I'm going to twist this one a little bit so that this triangle here is sort of level. So it's like a pyramid, right? And this one is the same, only it's upside down. And then I'm going to take my green one and slide it kind of underneath and over here. And our instructions show us, and this is kind of tricky because it messed me up a couple of times. This one, the orange one, you're going to flip over. The green one, you're just going to spin a little bit. So we're going to see how that's going to look. So we're going to take the orange one and flip it over. Now, if you look here, before we flipped it, we have a triangle and a triangle. When we flip it over, we have this kind of oblong shape, right? And then two little triangles. Oh, and I guess that picked up some of the color from my crayon before. That's all right. And the green one, we're just going to move straight up to be on top of the orange. Now, there are little pockets here, and here. And this is going to be probably your hardest fold because there's so many levels of paper, but you're going to fold this orange. So this triangle here is going to get folded down. So it's still going to be the same size triangle. It's just going to be folded down. And we're going to put it underneath the green paper and just tuck it under there. That's going to be a pocket that will hold it there. And we're going to do this kind of the same thing here. We're just going to make sure that we're pulled down enough. And we're going to fold it up like that. And then we have to tuck the point of that star inside there. Okay. And you're halfway done. You've got your star points tucked in. And we're going to turn it over and do the same thing. So we're trying to keep this shape together. So we're going to fold it over in half. And this is where it kind of gives you a little bit of a fuss, but really it's not going to make too much trouble, too much difference. So you're going to tuck it in under the orange, and we're going to do this last one. We're going to fold it over in half as much as you can and tuck that end in right there. And you've got a ninja star that you made your very own self. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make ninja stars. They can be a lot of fun, and we will see you again for another craft. And those are some of the ones that I made. Thanks a lot.